Shalom Elohim once again, giving all praises to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahagwadash.
So I suppose we can start with the government shutdown. As we know, it's still going on. They're saying that they don't know when it's going to end. But that's just what it is on the surface. A shutdown. But who's to say that this isn't all by design? You know what I'm saying? To collapse this economy, to collapse the working class, you know what I mean? Or for them to have a reason to bring in their new legislation or their NWO. So you gotta keep an eye out and see how things play out. But one thing's for sure is that you got people whose lives is really affected by this. People that work at like airports or that have other government jobs, which are dwindling. You know, they're talking about how they're gonna just get rid of like in furlough. Like you're not even gonna be in furlough. You're just gonna be like completely without a job. Because a furlough means you're temporarily without the job. You know that? So now they're just thinking about slashing these government jobs completely. So really, what they're doing is they're consolidating the government. They're shrinking it, and they're bringing in a new government, a new system. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the plan with Deutsch? Remember that thing from the beginning where they're talking about how they're going to make the government more efficient, get rid of useless spending?
Yeah.
Who's to say that this isn't a part of that? You know what I'm saying? So the stage is being set for disaster, and the American people are really the ones being experimented with. The elites are seeing how much torment that people can take, and we don't really know what the limit is yet. But I suspect it's when food shortages come into play. You know what I'm saying?
But again, we all know this is coming to pass, This is just the beginning stages. It's going to definitely get worse. And we know that for certain because of Bible prophecy. It's not like we're just theorizing and maybe this and maybe that. We know what is coming to a head, but we're just in the beginning of it.
Furthermore, I was getting some Jamaican food, and the guy that I was talking to, he was saying how like the prices of everything have gone up. It's like the wild, wild west when they make inventory purchases, to stock up on stuff that they're gonna need. You know what I'm saying? And so he was saying how the only way that this is gonna be rectified is through civil war. And he's just a regular dude talking like that. And that's how he sees it.
That's really what it's like. People go through so much hell here, they can't afford to live. But as long as they go to work, they're not going to do nothing. In other countries, there would have been civil war. People would be in the streets protesting, doing something. But here in America, the people are so dumbed down and on the low frequency, they just go and take it until they literally can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
This is 2nd Edra 16. Let's start at... This whole chapter is good. I'll start at the 33rd verse. 2nd Ezra 16 and 33. This is in Good News Translation. It says, young women will be in mourning because there is no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands.
Yeah, because there's going to be a shortage of men. And historically, whenever there's a shortage of men, it's due to war, economic struggle, famine. So there is going to be another draft. I mean,
Plagues.
there's already been drafts before with Vietnam, World War I, World War II. So why would the next World War be any different? Their numbers really aren't where they're supposed to be recruiting-wise.
Right.
So when it comes time to push that button, they're not really going to have the numbers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're forced to come out with a draft. And knowing this generation,
They're not built for it.
they're not going to be built to last.
They're not ready for that. There's like the men of old are not like the men that are here today. Like the overall men, the outstanding number of men out here, they're weak because of the life that was provided to them. You know, backwards, because you got to think, years ago back then, America was still being built. So you had rough, raw, rugged men. But the men now, they're living off the work that the men before them did. So they're comfortable. All of us, really, me included. I don't know what it's like to have to farm land and build up a building. That's not the work that was allotted for me. Because a lot of shit has been built up since before I was born in these cities that we live in. So again, men are just not cut out for that kind of work anymore, that kind of life. Shit, you got Instagram and social media and all this kind of stuff that people are occupied with. Again, 2 Ezra 16 and 33 in the Good News Translation says, young women will be in mourning because there is no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands. Daughters will be in mourning because there is no one to help them. All the young men will be killed in the war, and all the married men will die in famine. Now listen to my message, you people who serve the Lord. It is the Lord's message, so receive it and believe what he says. The disasters are approaching rapidly, and they will not be delayed. A woman in 9th month of pregnancy may suffer labor pains for several hours, but when the time comes for the baby to be born, there is no longer any delay. So you see, this is just the buildup. You know, it's gonna get worse. You think it's bad now, wait until we actually there and all hell has breaking loose.
Hell, wait till 2026.
Right.
I mean, the dude hasn't even been in office for a year yet, and look what he's done.
Right.
Like all these legislations that are against the Constitution that he's getting passed. They just deployed the National Guard or these federal agents over there in Chicago, and now they're planning on doing it in was it Portland, California.
It's gonna hit every city. It's gonna be everywhere. This is just the beginning.
And at first, the federal judge blocked it, but that was temporary. You know, Trump ended up getting his way, of course.
Yeah.
So they really moving like he's a king.
So I'm saying we, presume that's Nero. You know, he's gonna have his way, because ultimately the way he sets, he's gonna set up, law and everything is like he wants to be the last president. He doesn't want no other president after him. And why can't he do that?
Huh? In addition, when you look back at history of Nero, he's the one who burnt down the cities and then blamed it on the Israelites. So what is he doing today? He's painting blacks and Latinos as the faces of crime.
Right. Where
in
the
America.
problem?
Well, statistically speaking, and this is FBI statistics or whatever, so-called white men, they're the ones who commit the most crimes, violence.
Yeah. That's no secret.
But one may wonder, like, why the disparity with, like, the prison numbers? Like, why are blacks and Latinos predominantly locked up in prisons? Well, that's according to prophecy, and that's also due to the bias in these court systems.
Right.
Let me get a scripture to back that up. And also due to poverty as well.
Right.
You got Jake in the Hood.
Because Jake in the Hood, there's a statistic that I was reading that Jake, they can't even read on their grade level. So imagine you in the hood and you on a 3rd grade reading level and you a grown ass man or you're an adult. Of course you're gonna be driven to do crime because you can't get a job, you can't support yourself. And that's all strategic.
Also, the prefrontal cortex isn't developed yet until you're 25.
Right, you're more susceptible to just make bad decisions.
Shoot, and that goes for everybody. That's just part of being human.
Right.
So, It's like when you make a bad decision when you're young, and then as you get older, you look back and you're like, man, I wouldn't have done that, or I would have gone about it a different way. You know what I'm saying? But hindsight is always 2020. So this is like a cruel system that we're under. It's like you're really gonna hold the youth accountable for their actions completely. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you step out your door, even shit inside your own home, you living in not so good living conditions. You go outside, like there's something called the broken window theory. I remember learning that in school. It's like if a neighborhood has graffiti all over the walls, the windows are smashed out, the more likely it is for crime to go on there because people figure, okay, look at where I live. It ain't worth cleaning up. There's nothing good here, so this is where it's okay to do crime.
And that's what you saw a lot of during the crack era.
Right.
You had the brownstones that was worth practically nothing, and then years later, the neighborhoods get cleaned up and gentrified, and now it's $1 million houses.
The Bronx is burning. There was literally, it looked like the Bronx, I believe it was at the 70s, it looked like a third world country.
Yeah, it looked like a war zone.
I was watching a documentary on it. The reason why the buildings were broken down and burned up is because the landlords and the people that owned the buildings, they couldn't afford to fix the building up, so they just burned them down and destroyed them to get the tax money. And they was doing that all throughout the Bronx. So that's why the Bronx looked as bad as it did. But again, imagine growing up living like that. Like I remember, like a Mike Tyson. Look at how Mike Tyson turned out. Look at where he grew up. How you expect him to turn out?
Yep.
He grew up under some fucked up conditions.
So it's like these are the conditions that a lot of our people have been subject to, and it's like, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna be the outcome?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And these is conditions we've been set up to live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they never try to correct the heart of the problem.
Right.
They just come up with a band-aid solution here and there.
Welfare.
Yeah, welfare.
Which just compounded the problem.
Or they'll give you the prison system, which the prison system is quote unquote supposed to rehabilitate you. But how about this? How about you just eliminate crime altogether? The way you really do that and build it like a dystopia society is by really following the laws of the Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is really a lawless land that we live in because everything is capitalized off of. This is a capitalist society. So they capitalize off prisons, they capitalize off the healthcare system. You know, you should get sick. Who do you gotta run to? You gotta run to Esau.
They capitalize on your struggle here. So there is no incentive to put you in a better position.
Exactly. I got a scripture. Isaiah 42:22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. A snare is a trap. So we're trapped in these hoods. You know, that can be likened unto a trap. We read it again from the top. Isaiah 42:22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. So remember what I said. Blacks and Latinos are predominantly the ones that are in these prisons. So really, we're suffering according to prophecy and according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. That's just what it is. That's the reason why we can never get ahead. That's the reason why we live the way that we do.
But then you'll have an Anton Daniels type nigga, like we play in the victim card, like pull yourself up by your bootstrap Negroes. But that's a small percentage of us as a people that can get ahead, you know?
I mean, that dude, he makes decent talking points sometimes, but you could tell like he's like a proud dude. Like he don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he still supports Trump. I mean, at this point, he probably still does. He's a clown.
The second Ezra 16:39 in the Good News Translation, it says, "In the same way, the disasters that are coming on the earth will not be delayed, and the world will groan when it is caught in its labor pains." Jacob's trouble.
Yeah.
It says, "Listen to my message, my people, and get ready for the battle. When the disasters come, you must live as people whose home is not in this world."
Yeah, because you gotta live life like you're on the run, or live under the shadows.
Pilgrims. We just passing through, you know. We're not really trying to set up.
You're not getting too comfortable here.
Right, we're not planting our flag here. We're not, laying down a stone. We just passing through the night, you know what I'm saying? We just here to get our daily bread and go. Like, we just floating amongst this place, like you said, in the shadows.
Yeah, like at least that's how we move in theory.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people come to this country and they try to prosper and build a life, build a future. But it's like, how are you really gonna be able to achieve your goals when the state of the economy is not good? I mean, really, the price of an apartment or the cost of a house and a mortgage should tell you everything you need to know about the living standards of a society.
Right. If you're an average worker, you work a regular 40-hour job, making say like $20 an hour, you can't afford to live. You need to be making $50 an hour just to get by. You know what I'm saying?
That's really all you need to look at, and then also the price of food.
Bro.
So once you deprive people of basic necessities of life, it's like the quality of life goes down.
People are just scraping by for their necessities.
Everybody's just getting by.
They treading water. Nobody is living, with in an abundance, in a surplus. You just getting by. Everything you own, you paying to borrow it. You don't own anything.
So hopefully, all hell breaks loose very, very soon. The stage is being set, for sure.
For the election, you're not trying to, they're not trying to do another 10 years in this place. You're not trying to do another 10 years. Like, we trying to get out of here.
We towards the end of our bid.
Right.
So, we just gotta stay strong in these last days.
41st verse. It says, "Merchants must not expect to make a profit from what they sell. They must be ready to run for their lives. Their customers must expect to lose whatever they buy. Whoever builds a house should not plan to live in it."
Yeah, because the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, what is it, 12? There shall be no work left in Egypt. So it's gonna get to the point where people aren't gonna be buying stuff like they used to because they just don't have the funds.
Isaiah 19 and 15.
And then the people that do have, a little something, they're gonna have to have their head on the swivel because people are gonna be coming for what they got. You watch the news, you see people getting laid off left and right from these jobs that are supposed to be quote unquote safe, secure. You got various industries being affected across the board. Yeah, it's getting bad out here. We have to wrap it up.
Yeah. I know it's gonna rain today.
Me neither.
Real quick, this is Ephesians 4:22. This says, "That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust." And before you came into this faith, you probably had all these plans in the world, going to college, getting into your career,
Getting a degree.
right? Maybe having a family someday, but we understand.
Oh hell no! You know they're saying now that there are negative birth rates, and part of the reason for that is
Look at the economy.
the economy.
You can't
People
afford to have
can't
children.
afford to have kids.
You can't afford it. That shit is a literal burden now. You have a child.
So again, that should tell you the state of a society is how much it costs to live, how much it costs to put a roof over your head.
Again, it says that Ephesians 4:22 says that you put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And the way you get renewed is through the spirit, but ultimately the spirit is a gift that the Lord grants you. You know, not everybody's gonna have it. Not everybody's gonna have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. It says, in that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Yeah, the new man is when you come into the knowledge of the truth. Put off the old person that you used to be, and you're refined. You refine your minds.
This is Romans 12:2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because really, when you come into this faith, well, before you come into this faith, you have shackles on your mind. You can only think on this low level, you know, this worldly, carnal level, because you can't think any bigger than because you don't understand a world to come. You think this is it before you come into the faith. You think America is the end-all be-all. When you come into this faith, you understand that there's a heaven set up. Well, there's a heaven that the Lord set up for his people. Before you came into the faith, you couldn't tell who the Lord's people was. You might have had an inkling of who the Lord's people was, but visually, outside in the world, you would think it was those small hats, because look at them. They live in fat, they blessed. But really, it's the meek that the Lord is dealing with. That's the Lord's true people. And that the kingdom of heaven is going to be established here on the earth. You couldn't even wrap your mind around that concept before hearing this word.
Yeah, it would be like far-fetched to you, like, or you would still believe in the fairy tale lies of Christianity about how when you die, that's when you go to heaven.
Christianity, that was like a shackle that was placed on our minds, and it's still on our people's minds today. That's why the Bible has such a bad taste in people's mouths, because of, you know, those false religions. Romans 12:2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Right.
So again, you got to take the shackles off your mind.
I got a scripture. Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covers them as a garment. So as you was referring to earlier with the little hats, you know, they live in lavish.
Right.
They don't have a care in this world. You know, I found out that they have the highest birth rate in the world. You know that?
I did.
The small hats?
I did.
Because they're incentivized to have children. When they have children, they have bank accounts set up to them.
Yeah, they got something to pass down to them.
Yeah, they have bank accounts set up for them. And by the time they're like, I don't know, like 18 or whatever age that they reach, you know, they have an amount of money that they accumulate. So that's why they're able to move to America, move to wherever, and then set up a shop, set up a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't make sense. Like when you go into like Brooklyn and their neighborhoods, you just see a bunch of little kids walking around free without a care in the world. Like,
And you know why they got that funding for those accounts for when their children grow older? It's through taxpayers' money over here in Babylon. So that's the biggest welfare state.
yeah. Again, those people, they have not a care in the world. Something goes wrong in their life, they can afford to fix it. Their
And they
car break down, they can afford to fix it.
and they cheapskates too. It's like they're not
Yeah.
like Jake. That's how you know they're not the real thing. You know, Jake gets some money. They want to shine.
Right.
They want to get a Mercedes Benz. They want to get a Bavarian motor work.
Right.
You know, they want to get something nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they might go down. They might get like an Acura or a nice the new Honda or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Them people, you ever seen them roll around? They be rolling around like humble.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. They be rolling around in minivans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They be cheap. They don't give like alms or what's the word I'm really looking for? Charity.
Right.
Yeah, they don't even do charity.
They don't really deal outside of their like race either. Their nation.
Seems uncomfortable.
They don't really
Very
deal
consistent.
outside their nation either. At least not the men. You might see the women venture out, but the men, they gonna get them another small hat woman, and they just gonna forward, their plans. To just pass the wealth down and keep going.
Yeah, you know that's in the law. It's in the book. See if you can find it. I think it says like a righteous man like passes something down to their children. So that's what the small has followed. Like they'll take aspects of the Bible and like apply it to their lives, but then they'll also deal with their own books.
It's Proverbs 13:22. It says, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just."
Yeah, and that's a prudent mindset. Jake, I mean, yeah, it would be ideal to pass something down to your children, but we've been suffering under the curse for so long in America that it's difficult to really build wealth or substance to pass down to your children from generation to generation. Also, Jake isn't educated about finances, property,
At all.
for the most part. You got a lot of people that are like first generation or second generation, home buyers, and they don't have much experience with it. So then they got to go to their parents for like some information about how that works. You know what I'm saying?
If they even know.
Yeah, but it's like we've been in this country for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like there should be no way that we're not more established or have more substance. But the reason why we don't is because we've been marginalized and oppressed. You see, these so-called whites, they've had a head start.
And it's not even a skin color thing. It's about being these people on this sign. Because Ham will come over here and within 2 years be on their feet, have a business and all that. So it's not a skin color thing. It's just a spiritual thing.
Yeah. But then also the government will also give them an advantage, so that there could be that built-up resentment against Jake.
Right.
They'll be like, I come here, I'm like, if I could do it, you could do it too. That'd be like their mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I've always heard about how like immigrants come here and they could be from the Caribbean, Africa, or wherever, and they'll have like a preconceived notion to stay away from the blacks.
So they're lazy,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
violent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really like a narrative to sow discord.
And they tell you that like before they get here, like it's really like implanted in their mind to stay away from Jake. Like it's really like.
But you know what? They got their nigga wake up call with
Yeah.
these ice raids.
This is Psalm 17 and 14. Let's start up the verse. This is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord Yahweh, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes." Who does that sound like? That's Esau, especially Amalek. You know, they have so much wealth. By the time they, pass on, go back to the spiritual world, their children is set up. Their children's children are set up. I have never been anywhere and seen Amalek stocking shelves. Like I've never seen that.
I,
I'm so curious. Can you tell me about this?
Well, we're the Israelites, and where I have prophesying to the people here on this sign that the Lord is coming back to redeem them and destroy America. That's an overarching point of us being out here.
yeah, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are God's chosen people according to history, archaeology, and Bible prophecy. We can show you an example of that. Get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
I your shoes.
Thank you.
You
So
should.
what about me?
It depends on your nationality.
I'm white.
White? You can't be white because white is a color.
Sorry, I'm from here.
Like, what's your ethnicity? Like, what's your background? Where are your kinfolk from?
From Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, might be Edomite then. But this thing that we out here preaching, it's not about skin color. It's about the spirit.
Yeah, it's really not about skin color because when you read the Bible, the scripture said that the Israelites will be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So you can have Israelites looking like anybody. You know what I'm saying? So you go by the spirit. So you got to try you guys' spirits. You got to see, you guys measure up. So let's hear the word.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna start at the 68th verse.
Yeah, what you
It
guys
says-
aren't seeing.
It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee."
Yeah, the Lord will bring you into Egypt again with ships. So Egypt is synonymous with bondage. Finish that up.
It says, "Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you."
So let me quiz you. What does that sound like to you? Does that mirror the transatlantic slave trade or the triangular slave trade? Being sold on ships? I mean, who does that happen to according to history?
You've heard of slavery, right?
Yes.
You believe it happened, right?
Yes.
What nation of people was on the slave ships?
All
You know that's not true. Were they black people, white people, Indian people? They was all on the slave ships together? Nah. Well, yeah, they probably was on the slave ships together, but we was the ones in the chains, though.
Yeah. So
That makes sense?
that's the transatlantic slave
Huh?
trade.
That's history.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's history, right?
Triangular slave trade to transatlantic.
And you have secular history that's talked about in the Bible.
Wait, so everyone can be saved because it's about your spirit?
Say that again?
Like,
No.
everyone can be saved because it's about your
No,
spirit?
that's not true. The only way that you can be saved ultimately is if you're from one of these tribes on the sign.
On the right or left?
You have to be of the 12 tribes of Israel. This is
So why did God send people that weren't?
Say that again?
Why did God send people that are not?
I'll show you.
These people here on the sign, this is their names in the Bible. This is what we get called here in the world now. We lost our heritage, but these are our true biblical names. Like Judah is what we was called in the Bible, but here in America, in the world, we're looked at as Negroes. That's what we are now, African Americans, black. But
So you
this,
believe that every tribe translates over to
Right.
a certain ethnicity?
right.
Cool. So what about like the lost tribes?
These are the lost tribes.
But,
see?
like,
We're lost now because if you ask anybody out here, like if you ask like, I see you guys talking with, the Latinos, they might tell you, oh, I'm Dominican.
Yeah.
But their real name is Simeon. They go back to Simeon. That's their biblical name. And it's like that for everybody.
You said you're Ephraim. That's possible. Yeah, I can't really say for sure yet. You gotta continue trying your guys' spirits. So this is to show you that the Most High is only dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel
This is Acts 5:30. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree, has God exalted with his right hand to be a prince, a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. So really repentance is only for the Israelites. It's not for the other nations or the Gentiles. It's only for the people that come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Are you familiar with those figures in the Bible? So that's what it boils down to. The kingdom of heaven really is going to be established on earth, and it's going to be ruled by the Israelites. That's one of the reasons why you see a lot of chaos and wickedness going on in this world, is because you don't have God's chosen people ruling.
Yeah, we're scattered.
Yeah, they're scattered and they're still in captivity.
We gotta gather them.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's our job, right? Essentially.
That's the job of Ethan.
Well, yeah, you could say that because Ethan is Joseph. Remember Joseph? Book of
Lost
Exodus.
his birthright, so he gave it to Ethan or
That's not true. All the Israelites have that birthright.
well, of the original 12 tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh were the original one. He was given away his birthright because he was an uncle. So he lost his birthright, and it was divided between Ephraim and Manasseh.
Where is that in the scriptures?
And all of these people here on this sign, these are going to be the ones that hearken to the word. Like we're out here and, do it live.
Jesus said it, my sheep know my voice.
Yeah, the sheep. And
The
these,
sheep, but that's
these,
the 12 tribes of Israel.
yes, these are the
I
sheep
agree
right
with
here.
This is true.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are so kind.
Yeah, we out here just preaching the word, wise as surplus, harmless as doves, We not out here trying to start trouble. We just out here bringing out
Yeah,
the
we're
word.
not mean.
That's it.
That's so nice.
Hey,
So what's your organization? You guys
Oh.
as Christians?
Yeah, we're from the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints.
Right. So let me ask you this: do you know what color Jesus Christ is? Or like what his nationality is? Like what tribe is he from? Judah, right? So
he probably has a darker.
yeah, darker. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So
a lot of we actually believe that. A lot of our modern Christian art
He is dark.
okay, so we're one with that.
But what do you mean by darker? Like,
I don't know. I've never seen him. Have you?
okay. Well, he would be from the tribe of Judah. He would be a so-called Negro today. If he came back in the flesh today, he would be looked at as an African American. He wouldn't be from a. Some people would say, oh, he's from Eastern descent, like they all
Yeah, like
Middle Eastern. Like he wouldn't be Middle Eastern. He would
remember
be
what
an
Deuteronomy
African American.
28:37?
28:30.
So remember 28:37. So remember what I said earlier? How you're not white. Nobody's the color white. Just like how I'm not black. Nobody's the color black. Well, me and this brother, we're different shades of brown. We have melanin, and then you guys is like a lack of melanin to say, or like different shades of red. You know what I mean? So everybody on this earth has melanin for the most part. For the most part. So, the fact that we're called black is really like a negative connotation that's been placed upon us. It's like a placeholder that's been on us. But really, what we really are is the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what we make up. Some people are from the tribe of Benjamin, some people are from the tribe of Levi, so-called Dominicans is Levi, Haitians. No, Dominicans is Simeon, Levi is Haitians.
Dominicans are
Yeah, Simeon.
Simeon.
Native Americans are from the tribe of Gad and Reuben.
We love Dominicans. They're our best friends.
Yeah, me too.
Where are you from?
Tribe of Judah. So-called Black American.
Like, where were you born?
Here.
How about you?
Same.
Do you like it here?
No, I hate it.
Why do you live here?
We're trying to get out of here. We want the kingdom. That's what we want.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna move?
We're gonna move to wherever the Most High allows us to have our lands. I'll put it to you like that.
Oh, careful, I don't want
Yeah,
to
careful.
track.
Yeah, you got that?
Yeah.
Read that.
This is Deuteronomy 28:37. It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Yeah, and astonishment, because to a lot of people, it's a surprise when we talk about how we're the chosen people of the Most High. Not them little hats over there in the Israel right now. They're not the real thing. You know that?
Their biblical name is Amalek. They took they took our heritage from us, so they're passing off as the real Jews, but they go back to Amalek. These people here on the sign are the real chosen people of the Lord, not the people over there in the land now.
Does everyone have a chance?
No, only if you are an Israelite. Again, it's not about your skin color, but where does it go? Where does your spirit go back to? What spirit do you have in you? Where does your nation go back to? That's what it's all about. You think everybody deserves to be saved?
Yes.
It's not the case. And just to show you that the Most High is only dealing with the Israelites and not everybody can be saved, this is Romans 9:1. I say the truth in Mashiach, Yahushua, or Christ, as it's written, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. Jump down to verse 4. Actually, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed for Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, whom are Israelites, and this is Apostle Paul speaking. He wrote this. Whom are the Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, and the law, the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High, and the promises, whose are the fathers, in whom, as concerning the flesh of Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen. So Apostle Paul just broke it down right there. Who really the kingdom of heaven is for, because that's part of the promise. The kingdom of heaven. I mean, just read the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, our name. I mean, you know how it goes.
I got one precept for you. This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. So we was taken from our land and brought to America on the slave ships, a land that we don't know because we're not from here, and we had to serve our enemies in captivity under slave ship, building up America, free slave labor, which we still to this day haven't received reparations for, and we're not expecting to get it either.
Right. So that was a curse that the Most High put upon us as a people for being rebellious against Him. That's the reason why we're the last hired, first fired. That's the reason why we're marginalized and oppressed in this society. You know what I mean? That's the reason why they're trying to paint so-called blacks and Latinos as the faces of crime in America. According to FBI statistics, so-called white people are the ones that commit the most violent crimes. They're the ones who go up in the churches and, they do what they do. You know what I mean? They're the ones who commit, mass. You know what I'm saying? So that's just facts. But they try to highlight the things that go on within our communities and make it seem as though we're like the most violent people on earth. Historically speaking, so-called whites, or really so-called white people, their nationality according to the Bible is Edom. They're Edomites. They're Esau. That's who their forefather is. They're the ones who historically have committed genocide. Look what they've done to the Native Americans. Look what they've done to so-called Negroes. You know what I'm saying? That's just facts. That's one of the reasons why America has a great president coming to. That's why you see the society crumbling right now as we speak. That's why you see this king being, so I'll call him a king right now, because that's how he's moving. That's why he's moving the way that he's moving and passing all these laws that are against the Constitution the way that he's doing it. It's because they're moving desperate. They know that America is spiraling down the drain, and they're doing their best to try to stay on top and position themselves in a way where they come out on top when this whole system comes crashing down.
That's why everybody in America is so uncomfortable, because they're uncomfortable. You see, and the worse it gets for us, the worse it's going to get for them.
Yeah. You even have white people complaining about how this country is going and how the cost of living is rising. But it's like, for people of color, I mean, it's been like that. You know what I'm saying? People have always been going through the struggle. People on this side. So now it's like the fire and this heat is being felt by everybody, every nation in this country, and it's getting to the point where it's unavoidable. And the only reclamation is going to be a civil war. Believe it or not, there's going to be a civil war.
What's your name?
My name? Master.
What is it?
Master.
Master, what's your name?
Marshall.
Marshad?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to meet you, Master and Marshad.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just joking. It's Yaikwab.
Zyklon?
Yeah, Yaikwab.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. I'm sorry, we do have to go.
Okay.
Pass an interview. At 3. I know,
So-
my alarm went off twice, but
So to answer your question in a nutshell, you guys, if you're not Israelites, you can't be saved. From the flesh, from what I'm looking at, you appear to be an Edomite, and if you're an Edomite, then it's over for you. You're not gonna make it.
Everybody has a biblical name. So like white people, there's no such thing. In the Bible, they will be called Esau or Edomites or the nation of Edom. Everybody has a biblical name.
Yep.
thank you.
And I got a question. When y'all come out here, like, not saying y'all in particular, but like the Latter-day Saints, do they give you guys like a script or a playbook or a way to engage people, like to get conversation started?
No.
No? Okay, I was always just curious for that.
No, we just are like spirit-led.
All right.
And then also, America's Babylon the Great. Are you familiar with that? You ever heard of Babylon in the scriptures and the book of Revelation? Yeah. So ultimately, what's going to happen is America is going to be rained down by thermonuclear destruction from the missiles. And I could read that to you in prophecy.
Next time.
All right, y'all have a good one. I see y'all out here.
I'm
every
so
now and
sorry.
again.
We'll say hi to you next time. You guys are so cool.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Y'all have a good
Thanks.
one.
Have a good day.
I don't believe that. They get a playbook. Every time I've ever came across them, the first thing they say, especially to Jake, I like your shoes. They try to disarm you and disengage you. I know they get a script. Like, all right, if you're going to the hood, you're going to deal with some niggas, compliment their sneakers. They like that.
I remember them saying that.
They always say that no matter where I'm at.
Compliment your outfit.
Yup, always. You gotta, this is how you disarm them. Tell them you like these sneakers. Serpents.
Yeah, those are Edomites, huh?
They head spun right now. We just blew their mark. Oh, where is we at? I guess I'll go back to second Ezra. There's still more in there. This is second Ezra 16 and 43 in the Good News translation. It says, farmers should not expect to harvest their crops or pick their grapes. Those who marry must not expect to have children. And those who don't marry must live as if they had been widowed. And that goes to show you, like, America is going to be destroyed. You're not going to have time to reap what you sowed. You're not going to have time to enjoy what this life you had set up for yourself.
You want to live the American dream? Well, I'm here to tell you that the American dream doesn't exist.
It's over with.
The days is over.
They're not coming back.
You want to have your White House with the picket fence, or is it the house with the white picket fence? You want to have your family. You want to go out on vacations yearly. I mean, at this point, if you're living like that, then you're doing very well for yourself in America, because that's no longer the vast majority of people.
Motherfuckers, they going on vacation on credit now. That's a big thing now.
You know the saying, you can't buy it twice and don't buy it
Can't
alone.
afford it.
So here it is, you're paying for a $2,500 getaway. And you went and got it on credit.
Right.
You just spent your rent money on a vacation
But that's people's mindset.
for 7 days, and then when you come back, it's back to reality.
All right. Back to that punk ass job.
They'll be like, how was it? You be like, it was bittersweet.
Now you paying interest. Now you're gonna be paying on that vacation you took. So have fun with that now. But that's the mindset people have now. You know what? I can't afford to do it, but I'm gonna find a way to have my fun in the sun. You see, because they can't even afford to take a simple year, 1 year, make a yearly vacation. They don't got it. People are just getting by. There is no expenditures. You have no extra leisure money. All your money is going to your basic necessities that you need to live. 45th verse. It says, anything that is done will be useless. Foreigners will harvest their crops, seize the wealth, tear down the houses, and carry off the children as slaves. Anyone who has children will be bringing them up to be slaves or to die of starvation.
You can't make this stuff up. Read that again. I like that.
46th verse, it says foreigners will harvest the crops, seize the wealth, tear down the houses, and carry off the children as slaves. Anyone who has children will be bringing them up to be slaves or to die of starvation.
Yeah, because ultimately that's what's going to take place in Jacob's trouble. And you can argue that it's taking place right now. Because you have children now, it's going to be very hard to sustain and keep up with the life of being a father or a mother. You see what I'm saying?
In the ghettos, you always just children the story of your kids. They'd be like, if like school lunch is the only time I eat. Like I eat when I go to school. I don't eat at home.
That's supposed to be like the human aspect that we're supposed to have. Like the program with free lunch, which now they're trying to get rid of. That's how a lot of Jakes was getting by.
Yeah, free lunch.
Eating their Cheerios in the morning with the free milk. Because you have a lot of places and districts that are underfunded. So therefore, the reliance is on the federal government or from the state. So now with this, whole shutdown going on, there's a dispute with the funds. You're gonna see a lot of people's lives get affected. Especially if you're actually working for the government. I mean, imagine going to work, you're not getting paid. Your bills don't stop.
Right.
This one Jake, I was watching a video he did. I mean, he put his whole life, he switched his whole life apart. And he was having like a business going on, and he was getting contracts from the government. But since the government shutdown happened, they canceled and voided his contract. So now he's out of a job. He don't know what he's going to do. He don't got no income. But that goes to show you that you really shouldn't be relying on each of this system anyway. What does this thing that say that in Isaiah 36? See, look at me still posted up on the web. They hopped on the web. They didn't really have to go. They just didn't like what we were saying.
Yeah.
That's why I had to tell them that they're Edomites, that America is Babylon the Great, this place is dogs. I want to rain on your parade.
This is Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Because it's deceptive. Like the government may look like it's dependable, it's sturdy, it's always going to be there. But look at how we living now. Living through another shutdown, which, this the same thing happens every year, right? But this time, they didn't have a plan set in place. So they don't know how long it's going to last. Furthermore, America is spiraling down the drain, like I said. So why would you even want to try to rely on this system? I mean, wouldn't you want to build a life, build a plan around something that's going to be around for infinity, which would be the kingdom of heaven? And that's like our mindset. Like, we don't care about this world. They asked us if we like it here. Like, no, we don't.
Hell no. We would have added this bitch yesterday.
We want the kingdom. That's what we want. you don't, then how come you don't leave? That's what they always say.
All right. And go where? We're gonna catch hell anywhere we go.
See, I was being a little bit nice with them. I was just taking it easy. I had the gloves on. They said, you guys are so nice. I'm like, yeah, we play like that. We will continue to play like that.
Table my foot. This is Matthew 6:33. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
I like that.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought of the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof."
So we live life, if you even want to call it living, one day at a time. We take steps, one by one. Every little step we take.
'Cause each day is the day closer to the kingdom of heaven. It's not like we moving backwards. It's not like you moving backwards if you go back into the world. That's moving backwards. But if you stay rooted in this faith and just take it day by day, it's another day closer to the kingdom.
Yup. And even if you do move backwards, you're just gonna get left behind.
All right.
Like, you're gonna miss the train. You know what I'm saying? I got one. Isaiah 60:5. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. Continuing on. Verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee, and predominaries in Midian and Ephraim. Actually, I ain't gotta read no more. Actually, I'll continue. All they from Sheba shall come, and they shall bring gold, incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. So that's why we want the kingdom, because that's when we're gonna get our just due. That's when we're no longer gonna be on the bottom of the totem pole of society. You know, we're actually gonna have servants. They asked if anybody can make it. Is everybody gonna make it? Yeah, everybody's gonna make it, but we're just gonna have the position in the kingdom of heaven.
That's why you gotta ask them certain questions. You already know what mindset they in. They being like dishonest. That's why I asked them like, who was on the slave ship? They talk about everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's some bullshit.
So, yeah, everybody's gonna make it, but not everybody's gonna have a position in the kingdom of heaven of of power.
Right. You're not gonna have no rulership. You're not gonna have no say in nothing.
Exactly. That's the point.
You
Yeah, are we
you
gonna
be
be
there.
saved? Are we gonna make it? Yeah.
We're gonna save you for something real nice.
But as far as you ruling, having any say so in the kingdom, it's not gonna happen unless you're an Israelite. Unless you want to sign.
They wasn't fine enough to be one of my concubines. I got another job for you. I got another job for you.
Teach them how to be braiders, huh? You're one of your other women, teach them how to braid.
I already have it in my mind. Like I don't want no Edomite touching my hair. Like I'm gonna have Elam doing it or something. Ham.
A teardrop might come down my eye when Obadiah 1 is fulfilled. No, I'm lying.
Where is that? This is Matthew. I'm gonna just start the
You know
time.
how it says they're gonna be burned up, go extinct.
Obadiah 1:18.
Yeah, Obadiah 1 and 18. We don't really read that much. No.
This is Matthew chapter 5. I'll start at the top. It says, "And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted."
Yeah, blessed are they that mourn. And that's really us as a people. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day that we wake up in this kingdom, it's like,
Here we go again.
yo. But it's like at the same time, though, it's like you gotta give thanks to the Most High, because we could be ignorant to this truth. You know, we could still be in the world. could be at a point where we're not like close to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure like over 2,000 years ago, the apostles and the prophets back in that day, they thought that they was gonna be out of there. They thought that they was gonna get the kingdom, but they didn't know that we had to go through thousands of years more of torment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like here we are. We at the end of this captivity. We towards the end of this man's kingdom. We watching all these prophecies unfold. You know what I'm saying? Like that law they just passed with the digital ID. That's gonna be the groundwork for the MOTB. Once that comes to pass, and we're not far off. Because, like I said, who's to say that this whole shutdown with the government, who's to say that it's really not a reset? You know what I'm saying? They're just controlling the demolition of this system, bringing it down so that they bring in their NWO.
Matthew 5:4 again. It says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven."
Yeah, blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. So it's like for us, if you gotta be martyrs for this truth, or martyrs for Yahweh Shai, then so be it. It makes no difference to us. Because you gotta keep that faith to the end. Like, and you gotta hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? You can't fall off. You can't lose sight of the picture, the big picture.
Because we dead to this world anyway. So what difference does it make for us to live our lives here now?
You can't kill what's already dead.
Right.
You should do a video on that. I like that.
Nah, I got that from
I like that.
I got that from the brothers in I want to say that was Texas. I heard them say that, like, yo, we dead to this world anyway, and I was like, yeah, right,
I like that.
right.
Want us to take us out?
Yeah, I'll just finish reading. There's a couple more verses. Matthew 5:10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." I'll end on that.